right, Nick. The Cowboys have made some very interesting / confusing / everyone wants to know what's going on with the Cowboys free agency moves this year. And I think no one is better to ask than our resident Cowboys expert, you. So what are they doing? What is going on in Dallas?
So they've made a lot of interesting moves, like you alluded to. They traded Amari Cooper. They restructured Demarcus Lawrence's deal, extending him out. They just brought back, as of the time we recorded this, Leighton Vander Esch to play linebacker on a 1 year kind of prove it deal. They brought back Michael Gallup. They're letting Lyle Collins walk in free agency. So there's a lot of interesting moves here. And all of this is geared around one man. That's not Jerry Jones. That's Micah Parsons. Dallas feels that they've lucked into, by drafting Parsons in the first round last year, a generational defensive talent. The Cowboys view him as an Aaron Donald, an Ed Reed kind of guy, a guy who's an absolute defensive playmaker. And when you have a guy like that, you've got to surround him with quality pieces. You cannot let teams game plan for him and remove him. You saw what the Rams did with Donald. It was very effective. They brought in Leonard Floyd a couple years ago to be another pass rusher. And this last year, they brought Von Miller in. The whole point is that way teams can't key on that defensive star. So what does Dallas do? They restructure and make sure they bring back Demarcus Lawrence. So that way they have another pass rusher opposite of Micah Parsons. They couldn't re-sign Randy Gregory because of that contract debacle, but they're still in the market for defensive end. They'll probably get one in the draft now. So they're going to surround Parsons with a couple quality pass rushers so that way when Parsons pass rushes, teams don't key on him. Also, you don't want Parsons playing just stand-up linebacker and getting killed, being an ordinary old school linebacker all the time, getting killed by offensive linemen. So what do? They bring back Leighton Vander Esch. We talked about them maybe drafting linebacker in the draft too to give him another guy so that way Parsons doesn't have to play those positions. So all of these moves are geared around getting Micah Parsons free, getting Micah Parsons in places where he can make big plays and not have to worry about double teams, triple teams, and teams game planning him off the field.
Yeah, this is very reminiscent of the old Texans team when they paired Jadeveon Clowney with J.J. Watt. The yin to the yang. You got to have someone on the opposite side of the ball. This is very similar to me of what the Chargers have done. You got the Khalil Mack to the Joey Bosa. Every generational talent. Like, I think Parsons is possibly, it seems as if he's going to be at the best of all of those guys. But when you have a guy like this, what's better than having one phenomenal pass rusher is to have two. How do you open up things? You gotta have stuff. I think it's Baltimore saw it. Baltimore has Odafe Owe, who's a good young pass rusher, rookie this past season, and they tried to bring back Zadarius Smith. Didn't really necessarily work out, but that's the game plan. And I think Dallas has hit the nail on the head here. You gotta complement your young, as you've called it, generational talents on your defense, and that's the best way to utilize them. You can't let them get locked down. They got to be able to make plays.
Right, and I don't want to. There's been a few comparisons with Micah Parsons to Lawrence Taylor. I think we're not there yet. But when people talk about it, people forget about Lawrence Taylor and why he was able to do that in the Giants was because he had Harry Carson, another Pro Bowl Hall of Fame middle linebacker that played for the Giants, that allowed Lawrence Taylor to do his things as a pass rusher. He didn't have to worry about covering tight ends and running backs. He was just be a playmaker, go get the quarterback. And that's what Dallas is trying to do, surround him on defense with guys that will allow him to do what he does best, and that's get after the quarterback, make plays. And if he has to drop in a coverage every now and again, that's fine, but you don't want him doing that the majority of the game.